Hello everyone, this is part 34 of What If Naruto Was in Rosario Vampire, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. 7 years ago, Naruto looked up from his textbook frowning. I don't get it. Iruka peeked out of the kitchen where he was preparing dinner. He regularly assigned Naruto extra reading material on top of his regular stuff. What don't you get, Naruto? I'm reading the part about Motoko and the assassination of the Emperor Jiangheng. Iruka nodded. Yes, that took place about 900 years ago. It's a classic example of how anyone can be vulnerable to assassination. I street USD it myself back when I was in the academy. What is it you don't understand? Well, the Kunoichi Motoko infiltrated the imperial palace as a mistress to one emperor's sons and lived there for more than 2 years before the assassination, right? That's correct, Iruka answered in what Naruto thought of as his teacher voice. Over that time she gained the prince's trust and so was able to eventually convince him that his father intended to send him into exile. Believing that she was able to mastermind a coup attempt that resulted in the deaths of both the emperor and the prince. See, that's what I don't understand. What do you mean? She was living in the palace for 2 years, why didn't she just use her ninja skills to kill the emperor? Who was her employer? Iruka asked in full teacher mode. Frowning, he looked back down at the text. Lord Kanto. Who was under suspicion and whose children were hostages being held in another castle. If the assassination attempt failed, or even if it had succeeded and his involvement had been discovered, his children would have SD. To Lord Kanto that was an unacceptable risk. So he insisted on a method where neither he nor Motoko would be directly implicated. But instead she tricked someone who was in love with her into doing it. Iruka looked him. And you disagree with that? Well, of course. Isn't it dishonorable and weak to trick others into doing your work for you? Not at all, Naruto, Iruka said. We are not ancient samurai following Bushido, we are ninja. A ninja does have honor, never doubt that, but for us honor comes from carrying out the mission whatever the cost and being loyal to those we serve. How we carry out the mission is irrelevant. He suddenly snapped out a question. What is the lifeblood of ninja? Deception. Naruto answered immediately. Iruka nodded. If a lie or a trick will help you achieve your mission goal, then it would be foolish not to use it. Not all enemies and not all situations will be the same. Some enemies you should K face to face. Some you should K with a kunai in the back. And some you should K with a lie. A ninja's duty is to complete the mission with whatever method is most effective. Naruto frowned but thought over the words carefully. So it's all right to use people in order to accomplish the mission. That's right, Iruka nodded. It's a part of being ninja. Present day. The door to the conference room was pushed open and a very angry-looking Hiyashi entered wearing his full Hokage dress. 10 sets of eyes all turned to look at him. Hokage-sama, I'm so glad you could join us. Naruto rose from his seat and gave the Hokage a proper bow. Hiyashi's eyes narrowed when he saw what Naruto was wearing. He is trying to play the part of the Yondame's heir. Why? He has never cared about that before. Hiyashi's eyes quickly scanned the room, taking note of who was present and the serious looks that answered him. He spared some extra attention for his daughter. Hinata quickly looked away. What is going on here? The 5th Hokage asked coolly. Why was a meeting of the council called, and why was I not informed of it? The meeting was called to discuss a matter of high treason members of this very council. I trust you would agree that warranted an emergency session. Naruto sounded reasonable and properly deferential. As for not informing you sooner, I thought that was best. Hiyashi approached Naruto and stared him down. It is not wise to keep your supreme leader ignorant about such important matters. That could be considered treason. Naruto met the Hokage's gaze easily enough and did not turn away. Their staring match was interrupted by Shino. Rest assured, Hokage-sama, deception is not our intent. The entire council agrees with the actions Naruto has proposed. Actions? What actions? The Hokage ended their little contest to look at Shino. Valid evidence has been presented that council members Danzo, Homura, and Koharu were involved in the Uchiha The council has passed a decree that they be declared public enemies and killed on sight. Hiyashi stared at the impassive face hidden behind a collar. If anyone else had said that, Hiyashi would have wondered if it was some type of joke. He looked about the room and saw every face looking back at him, grim and resolute. They were serious. Have you all gone mad? He asked them. Naruto gives you some evidence and you're ready to execute fellow council members. Unfortunately, Hokage-sama, the evidence can't be disputed. Shikaku went over to him and handed the Sandaim's sealed order over to him. Hiyashi read the docent. He then contemptuously tossed it onto the table. Is this all the evidence you have? Some forged paper with a seal that seems to be real. He looked at the council members and shook his head. That scrap of paper is valid. Naruto cut him off, earning a glare which he ignored. Every person in this room has had the chance to inspect it and cast a verification jutsu on it. As much as you might like to pretend it's not, the fact is that docent bears Sarutobi's seal. It is valid, everyone here realizes that. Seeing general agreement from the faces in the room, Hiyashi tried a different tact. Even if that is so, by itself it is not enough to condemn people to death. Especially not such respected and honored ninja. We will have to launch an investigation into these accusations. And who will be investigating? The Anbu. Will the investigators be trustworthy? Or will they be hidden root members out to discredit anyone who dares question Danzo and his compatriots? For that matter, what will Danzo and his root agents do while you investigate? Just stand by and watch. Naruto does bring up a valid point, Shino stated. A prolonged investigation will encourage action on the part of those loyal to Danzo. Chum jumped to her feet and looked at Hiyashi angrily. Are you going to let the Uchiha go unpunished just to protect your friends? She demanded. With her strong sense of loyalty and family, she found the crime even more heinous than most. We've written up 3 death warrants. We want you to sign and seal them. I will do no such thing. Hiyashi stated. Are you really ready to risk a possible civil war just to protect your cronies? Naruto asked him sadly. Where is your concern for the innocent villagers? Hiyashi turned on him sharply. I do not want to hear you of all people talking about protecting the villagers. While I agree that Naruto isn't the one to talk about that, the fact is it's a valid point, Shikaku sounded less than eager but pressed on. The fact is that Danzo and his people are dangerous. Just arresting Danzo or even just investigating him might lead to an open revolt and civil war. For the sake of peace within the village, please sign the warrants, Hokage-sama. I will do no such thing, he repeated. I will not blindly order the deaths of 3 honored ninjas simply because of one piece of paper and the urgings of a bloodthirsty cur. Naruto grinned. Oh dad, that hurts. He theatrically put a hand over his heart. But whatever you call me still doesn't change the fact that the Hokage's order proves that Danzo, Homura, and Koharu are complicit in the Uchiha. Justice demands they be punished, and peace demands that the punishment be swift and severe. Anything less will only cause greater suffering. I am prepared to see them investigated. Hiyashi hated conceding even that much. But they will not be arrested, never mind executed. So to protect your friends and your power base, you are ready to put the entire village in danger? Naruto asked and shook his head sadly. I will not allow the Uchiha to go unpunished just for the sake of some political advantage, Chum barked out. If you will not do what must be done, then I will order my clan to act. As will I, Shino said calmly. The laws of this village must be upheld and the guilty forced to answer for their crimes. Shikaku took a deep breath. As much as I hate to say it, I agree. One by one the various members of the council declared their intentions to carry out the executions even without the Hokage's approval. Hinata was the only one not to declare her support. Instead she sat rigidly in her seat and remained silent, her eyes darting between Naruto and her father. For his part, Naruto grinned. Do I even need to say how I feel? Hiyashi was horrified to find people he had worked closely with for years turning on him. Do you understand what it is you are saying? If you do this, you will be acting outside the law and bringing on the very thing you want to avoid. I cannot stand by and allow you to oppose my authority. Your actions will lead to civil war. However reluctantly they were drawing up battle lines with most of the clans to one side and Hyuga and most of the other ninja on the other. Hiyashi again turned to Naruto. Is this what you were aiming for? Naruto looked surprised by the accusation. You think I want civil war? He shook his head. All I want is justice, That is all I have ever really wanted. No one here seeks civil war, Hokage-sama, Shino said in his monotone. However, we cannot stand aside and allow this issue to pass. It must be resolved. Can you do the right thing for once? Chum demanded. Think about the villagers and not yourself. Are you all resolved to this course? Hiashi asked grimly. 9 heads bobbed up and down. Hinata remained still and looked miserable. Then it seems I have no choice, give me the warrants. Taking the papers, he quickly and mechanically signed and sealed them. As Naruto watched, he smiled just a bit. It's done, he thought happily. Not only do I get rid of those 3, but I'll actually get some credit for a change. I warned you not to betray me, Danzo. 4 days ago. Smoke was beginning to fill the corridors as the ground shook again from another explosion. Orochimaru's secret mountain base was staring to collapse all around him. He could only flee and hope to run into the other 2. Coming to AS end, he reared back and punched through the false wall. He found himself in another vast chamber. Naruto. Looking over, he saw her. Mocha-chan. There was a body near her, so it was obvious she'd been in a fight. Are you all right? He ran over to her, relieved and happy to have found her. He was a bit surprised though that while there was blood on her, there was much more ink. What happened? She asked him. We were in the corridor and the floor suddenly gave way. I wound up here where I was attacked. She nodded towards the corpse. Naruto had a clear look at the boy's pale face. He let out a growl. What is it? Do you know him? Yeah, I know him, Naruto ground out. His name was Sai. He was one of Danzo's agents. It looks like Sasuke was telling the truth. Danzo and the others betrayed me. The second I get back to the village, they're all S. You were with Sasuke. He nodded once, his fury still high. Yeah, the 2 of us were dumped in a chamber like this one, only with Orochimaru waiting for us. What happened? She asked. I killed them both. You killed Sasuke? Mocha asked fearfully. Oh Naruto-kun, we can't go back there now. He's like a little tin god to them, they'll never forgive you. Another explosion echoed all around him as chunks of the stone ceiling began to fall in. Let's talk about this later. He wrapped his arms around her and pulled her close. Right now, let's get out of here before we end up buried alive. She nodded and they were swallowed up by black flames. Present day. With the death warrants now signed, the meeting quickly broke up as the council members hurried to see them carried out. Hiashi watched and waited as the others departed. He did not fail to notice that most of the members still avoided Naruto as they left. But there were 2 important exceptions. Both Chum and Shino stopped to speak with him for a bit before they went. It was very interesting to see the most emotional and the most stoic council members apparently find some common ground. Naruto was among the last to leave, along with Hinata. If you don't mind, Naruto, I'd like a moment alone with you. Naruto turned and nodded. Of course, Hokage-sama. Hinata looked over hopefully. Should I? You are not needed, Hiashi said dismissively. Flinching a bit, she turned and escaped, leaving Hiashi and Naruto as the only ones still in the room. You know, Naruto, Hiashi began. I knew you were dangerous from the very beginning. But I must admit that you are dangerous in ways I never suspected. He bowed his head a bit. I will take that as a compliment. Just what sort of game are you playing? Naruto smiled. I am but a humble servant of my village. Hiashi snorted. Humility is no part of your character, of that much I am certain. And you only serve when you are forced to. Father, you wound me. Call me that once more and I will activate your seal and leave it on for a full hour, Hiashi said menacingly. Naruto was strongly tempted to call him dad right then, but he resisted the urge. It was important that Hiashi still believe he had a weak spot. Yes, Hokage-sama. What is it you really want? What are you truly after? I only want to be embraced by the village, I just want to be accepted and loved. A good first step to that would be to stop king villages. Naruto grinned. I agree, so long as they don't try and attack me. If you are serious about being accepted, there is something that you could do to aid that. Get Hinata pregnant, Naruto said neutrally. Godfather brought that up so many times you would have thought he was a nursemaid looking for work. As I told him 100 times, I may care for Hinata but my heart belongs only to Mocha. Your heart need not be involved, Hiashi said. What is required is a different part of your anatomy. Sorry, Naruto chuckled. I'm afraid Mocha considers that part to be hers too. In fact, she's thinking of having property of Mocha stamped on it. So you are saying you never intend to share my daughter's bed? I said that from the start, and nothing has changed. I see. Very well, then I will go. But you need to understand one thing very clearly, Naruto. If you become a serious threat to me, I will annihilate you. Keep that very clearly in mind. Yes, Hokage-sama. Hiashi left and Naruto was alone. With no one watching, he began to laugh. More dangerous than you expected. You have no thing idea. 4 days ago. The black flames SD away and the two of them were safely on the mountain side. As they watched, the cave that was the secret entrance collapsed, sealing up the only way out. As the ground continued to shake beneath their feet, Naruto looked around. They were the only ones present. It looks like Godfather didn't make it. No sooner had Naruto spoken than the stony ground about 50 yards away burst open. A large orange and black toad tore its way out of the mountainside with a dusty Jiraiya holding onto his back. Seeing the miraculous escape, Naruto actually shook his head in admiration. I guess the old guy really is tougher than he seems. Once they were all clear and the shaking finally stopped, Jiraiya turned to him. Do you have any idea what happened to Sasuke? Naruto nodded. He and I wound up facing Orochimaru together. I'm afraid he was killed before I could finish off Orochimaru. He's Jiraiya whispered. Naruto nodded. He SD bravely though. Jiraiya slowly shook his head. This is terrible. The Uchiha clan is extinct now. He was my student and I failed him. Nice to see you so worried about one of your students. Naruto. This is no time for petty jealousy. Your teammate just SD. Have a little compassion. Naruto stared back at him. You expect me to have compassion for him? The whole damn village will mourn for him. If it were me, would anyone except Mocha and maybe Hinata even care? I'm sorry, he's Naruto lied. Despite many differences with his other student, Jiraiya seemed genuinely upset. He insisted on knowing exactly how Sasuke had SD. Naruto found himself having to invent a story of how brave Sasuke had met his end. It annoyed him to no end to see just how worried Jiraiya was with the Sasuke, while not giving a thought to how the village would likely react to him when the news came out. Mocha was right when she said the village would blame him. Present day. The meeting had ended about half an hour ago when a furious Jiraiya arrived and demanded to meet with him. Naruto called him into his study so the two of them could talk in private. Jiraiya wasted no time in making his accusation. You lied to me. You told me that Sasuke was killed by Orochimaru, but you told the council that you killed him yourself. That's right, Godfather, I lied to you. So what? Are you going to stand there and pretend you haven't told me a few lies? How about the very first day we met? I'm here to help you, Naruto. This seal will allow you to draw more of the Kyuubi's power. I'm sorry. Damn it, Naruto. What I did was because of orders from the Hokage. And what I did was for my own protection. What would have happened if I'd told you I'd killed Sasuke? I assume it would have been your duty to tell the Hokage, right? Would the reasons have mattered, or would everyone have just turned on me? I am your sensei, Naruto. Telling lies to me is very different than telling them to someone else. Are you sure? Naruto asked. Because it didn't seem very different to me. We're ninja, for us lying comes as easy as breathing. Jiraiya stared hard at him. What really happened, Naruto? 4 days ago, Naruto and Sasuke had been dropped through a trap door and slid into a large chamber. They had scrambled back up to their feet. The place was a huge circular room filled with stone columns. The only light came from a few torches on the far wall. The light was weak and the place was filled with shadows. Naruto was in his vampiric form. He looked about as his eyes adjusted to the darkness. What's that smell? Sasuke said with disgust. Quiet, Naruto told him. He could smell it too. It was the familiar scent of rotting meat. There was at least one corpse somewhere in this room. Coo, 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 a voice rasped from somewhere in the shadows. You've finally come. I've waited too long for this. Naruto and Sasuke both turned to face the sound. Not willing to take any more chances, Naruto embraced the Kyuubi's power. He activated his cloak and 6 tails took form. Who are you? Naruto called out. The figure moved out from behind a column and shuffled slowly towards them. With his vampiric vision, Naruto was able to see him clearly despite the darkness. What he saw made him want to vomit. The man, if he was still that, was wearing an old dirty robe and had bandages covering most of his arms and legs. But the skin that was still showing was black and rotting. He seemed to be more like a rotting corpse than a living being. The only place that seemed alive was the face. The mouth twisted and smiled, and the yellow snake eyes were looking at him with a very human hunger. It hurts, you know, it hurts, but I had to wait. Wait for my chance. With your power I will live forever and kill all those fools. Who the F are you? Naruto asked. He had to fight the urge not to vomit. There were times when a strong sense of smell was a real curse. The question brought out a cackle filled with sickness and madness. Who am I? Who am I? Ku, I am the great Orochimaru. Now, give me your body and your power. Sasuke watched as what seemed like a gigantic snake made of chakra appeared above Orochimaru's head. It towered above Naruto and seemed to strike to devour him. But the image of a fox appeared and attacked the snake. As Sasuke stood there watching, both men were completely immobile while the two images seemed to fight each other. Sasuke stood there and watched carefully. Whatever was happening, if they wound up killing each other, that would solve everything. For Naruto it was as though he'd suddenly been teleported to another realm. The man standing in front of him was the Orochimaru from the bingo book, healthy and young. You have no hope of resisting me here, Orochimaru teased. This is a dimension I created for the devouring of souls. I will take over your body and the power that you possess. Then I will finally take my revenge on Konoha. You want to take revenge on Konoha? Naruto grunted. I can respect that, but I'm afraid I can't give you my body. I'm not done using it yet. Ku, I am glad that my new host has such courage. You will make a fitting receptacle for me. Now don't try to resist. Here my will is all that matters. As Orochimaru spoke, the ground around him began sliding up his body and covering him. I see, this place reacts to will. In that case you are really and truly fed. The muddy earth seemed to hesitate and then began to ds off. Orochimaru gasped in surprise as the earth around his feet began to rise up his legs. Fool, you really think you can challenge me here? I didn't come to challenge you, I came to fin-k you and pay you back for what you did to the old man. Orochimaru glared at him hatefully and concentrated. He gasped in surprise as the muddy earth continued on up from his legs onto his chest. What is happening? I am the legendary Orochimaru. I am immortal. You cannot hope to defeat me. Naruto laughed at him. What? Did you really think you were the only one filled with rage and hate? I have plenty of that too, and I have one thing that you don't, that guarantees my will to live is stronger than yours. What is it? He looked and sounded scared. The earth was climbing up his N. I have someone I love, someone who is more important to me than my own life. That's a source of strength that you don't have. He watched as the mud began covering his enemy's face. Now please As Sasuke watched, the image of the fox suddenly tore off the snake's head. There was a gasp and he heard more than saw Orochimaru collapse. The image of the fox and snake vanished. Much more importantly, Naruto's chakra cloak also disappeared. Naruto collapsed to his knees panting. You all right? Sasuke called out. Between breaths Naruto nodded. Yeah, fine. That was a lot harder than I expected. Somewhere beneath them they hear the faint echo of an explosion and the faint rumble of the ground shaking. Looks like Orochimaru must have set this place up to self-destruct if he SD. We need to get out of here. Can you use the Kyuubi's chakra? Naruto shook his head. Not right now. Good. Sasuke purred. That's what I was waiting to hear. The sounds of birds chirping suddenly filled the chamber, drowning out the explosions. Naruto understood. He got shakily back up to his feet and looked at Sasuke as he formed his Reikiri. So, is this for your balls or because Godfather offered me the summons? Neither, idiot. This is for stealing Itachi from me and robbing me of my destiny. Naruto laughed at him. Oh, you poor thing, my heart bleeds for you. It must be so hard having to just settle for being rich, powerful, and admired. I can see why you need to K since someone took away your plaything. You're so pathetic, Sasuke. You're nothing but a spoiled rich kid who can't stand not to get everything he wants. Shut up. What would a monster like you know anyway? Yeah, I'm a monster, Sasuke, Naruto admitted with a grim laugh. But unlike you, I have real reasons to hate and K. We all have our reasons. Danzo is trying to protect himself. You should know he betrayed you too, and as soon as your smoker is going to have a little accident. Once you're gone they'll probably have a festival to celebrate. I don't doubt it, so you and Danzo had a little conspiracy. Anyone else join in? Sasuke smiled. No, but I'm sure we could have recruited the whole village if we'd needed to. Everyone wants us. I know, and the feeling's mutual. A large explosion made the floor shake, sent a crack through it. Enough of this, it's time for you to s. Sasuke had his Sharingan active and ran straight at him, intending to plunge his lightning blade into Naruto's heart. Without the Kyuubi's power he was nothing. He saw Naruto look right at him and smile. And in the next instant he seemed to disappear. Crack. In the very next instant he felt the wrist with his Raikiri snap. He tried to cry out but there was a hand clenching his teeth tight. He tried to cry out but nothing would come out but a gasp. You know what, Sasuke? I think I'd rather be a monster than an arrogant weakling like you. Did you really think you were a match for me even without my red chakra? Your eyes may show you a lot of things, but what good does it do you if you can't match my speed? He put his lips next to Sasuke's ear and whispered. And so you know, Itachi would have crushed you easily. Say hi to him for me. With that he snapped Sasuke's en and put a final end to the Uchiha clan. Present day. You want to know what really happened? Naruto asked. That's right, Jiraiya said angrily. I want to know the truth. The truth? Naruto asked. What the hell would you do with it? This whole village runs on lies. What does the truth matter? It matters because need to know why you did it. Naruto looked at him. You really want to know? I killed him because he tried to kill me first. I defeated Orochimaru but it left me drained. When he saw I was vulnerable he came at me. But I wasn't as helpless as he thought. Jiraiya stared at him. Is that really what happened? Yes. Then why didn't you tell me that from the start? Because a lie was safer. Jiraiya considered for a moment. I don't believe you. Naruto shrugged. I'm not surprised. I am a liar after all, like you and everyone else in this place. What about the docent, was that real? Of course, there's no way to falsify a Hokage's seal. And you really did take it from Sasuke after he was given it by Orochimaru. Naruto looked him right in the eye and answered. Yes. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.